Hi all, how you doing? As many of you may know, I have quite a bit of experience teaching and teaching English, and I also spent a great deal of time over the last few years tutoring English to students all across the world. Now, there's one question I ask all my students. And it's of this very picture here that you're looking at. Now, I choose this question because it's a very simple choice. It reveals the students' abilities to conceptualize, to express opinions, and also we get to have a bit of a laugh at the same time. So that's a good combination for any kind of classroom. Now, the question I ask of this image of Doraemon and Nobita on a time machine, and it would probably surprise you how many people actually do recognize Doraemon. They know his name. Surprises me. Everyone across the globe, many countries, they know who Doraemon is. So I offer the students a ticket and I ask them the question, where would you like to go? So there's 3 points they have to stick to and remember when they're making their choice. So the first is it's a return trip and they can go to either the future or the past. The second point is you are invisible. You can't communicate with anyone. No one can see you. No one can hear you. You can hear them. They can't see you. You can't interact with them. And the third point is you can't make any changes. So you can't physically change anything. You're not going to be able to alter the past if you choose to go into the past. Now, there's a pretty stark and consistent difference I've noticed over time with many students. So, firstly, students from Asia and the Middle East. Now, I'm lucky I get to actually interact with students across the globe, particularly over the last 12 to 18 months. So it's given me a bit of an insight into lots of different cultures and the way they think. So anyway, generally, Asia and the Middle East, they predominantly choose to travel within their own lifetime. So they want to see themselves, they want to see their immediate family, and by far the most common time in their lifetime is within the next 10 to 15 years. So it seems as though a lot of students from these cultures are very focused on decisions they're making today. And they're curious, some are very concerned if they're making the right decisions. There definitely is a little bit of anxiety in a lot of people from these backgrounds, especially those who are living in foreign countries. They've made big decisions, they've made big choices, and they want to see how those decisions are going to turn out for them. A lot of them it's for their children as well, which is very sweet, but on the other hand, you have students from European backgrounds. So I have many students, less students, but some from European backgrounds. And I would say for some reason, South America seems to share similar values to this as well. Particularly those in Brazil and the few students I've had in Argentina and Chile. So people from these backgrounds, they generally choose outside their own lives, more abstract periods in time. And most of the time, it's in the future. And it's not too far into the future. It's definitely with outside their own lives. And I guess it's more out of a curiosity, out of an imaginative kind of exploration. Now, I do see values in both of these aspects. I would probably choose, if I had one of these tickets, 100 years in the future. I think it's going to be different enough to be interesting and eye-opening. I mean, you've only got to look back 100 years in the past and how different that is. I think it's going to be, one can only imagine 100 years into the future what it's going to be like. But I think, at least I hope, it's not going to be too far away that it's completely unfamiliar. I guess we'll never know. Well, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, I feel as though traveling in my lifetime, so if I was going to get in a time machine and travel 10 years into the future, I mean, I'm going to eventually see it. So why would I waste a return ticket in a time machine? But I also can relate to the curiosity about some of the decisions you make today and how it's going to affect you. Now, it shows this simple distinction. It shows there's a real difference, a vast difference in worldviews. And that's a pretty big difference. It seems as though people from cultures that are more, let's say Asia, the Middle East, I would say, I haven't spoken to any students in Africa, but let's say Asia and the Middle East, they seem to be very focused on family and the present. Other cultures, Western cultures, and I can even relate this back to friends and family back at home too, and in my experience in living and working with English learners in Europe too, we're a lot more imaginative and focused on things in the distant future and also the distant past. Now, this is something I've also reflected on living in a developing country for some time. The people here are very focused on the moment. They're a lot more focused on the more immediate things in their life. Westerners, just from within my circles and my experience, are way more focused on things that are completely abstract and outside of our realm of immediate interest. Now, there is obviously merit and value to both of these mindsets. And I think it's good to recognize both. And I've learned a lot just simply from reflecting on this fact, on this distinction. So I'd like to ask you, if I had a return ticket for you on a time machine, you could choose the future or the past. Now, remember, you're invisible. You can't change anything. You can't talk to anyone. All you can do is sit silently and observe. So I'd like to know when and where you would go, and why did you choose that time and place. So comment below. I'm really curious. I'm really interested into how you think and to where you want to go. Okay, thanks a lot, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.